We have reached Golden Meadow, Louisiana, which is the last incorporated town on Bayou Lafourche. Don't worry, we did not go over 50 miles an hour. Native American tribes of the Chitamacha, Choctaw, and Houmas nations were in the area for centuries until European arrival. Now in 1842, these first European settlers to the area traveled by boat from Natchez, Mississippi, and arrived at the lower reaches of the bayou. These early settlers had last names like Callais, Cheramie, Griffin, Barker, Williams, amongst others. And in fact, most historians say that all of the Cheramies in Louisiana can trace their ancestry to Golden Meadow, but it wasn't originally called that. In 1901, a Callais man sold their land to a Yankee from Michigan, who then dug a drainage canal to farm. Because of this, the area of about 8 homes back then became known as Yankee Canal until about 1915. Now, my mama and papa used to say this all the time, that it's Golden Meadows, and if you ask any older person here, they'll likely say the same, that it's plural. However, the name stems from the Golden Meadow Development Company, so it's likely singular instead of plural, but there are a couple of theories as to the name origins. The original settlers saw the vast growth of yellow wildflowers in the low marsh prairies. These flowers are often mistakenly referred to as goldenrods, but are actually the common butterweed, and around here we call them pissenlit. Some people actually believe that the Acadians or Cajuns that settled here in Sault Lafourche came down from the upper regions of Bayou Lafourche. A few perhaps, but the vast majority of the Cajun population came from the south. Marked by 3 devastating hurricanes in 1893, 1909, and 1915, the Acadians, Native Americans, Africans, and more along the coast would retreat to settle further north. A combination of these 3 major hurricanes caused a rapid increase in the population of Golden Meadow. Now, with the majority being French-speaking Catholics, the Diocese of New Orleans ordered a church to be built that could accommodate the major fishing port. So in 1916, St. Yves Parish was established and changed to Our Lady of Prompt Succor about a year later. With a major sector of Louisiana's coastal fishing fleet now located in Golden Meadow, the village became a major seafood selling and processing center for the state. One of the more historical locations is obviously the school. The Golden Meadow High School building is on the National Register of Historical Places and is in the classical revival style. It was completed in 1931 with many additions that followed, but with the restructuring of the school system, it became a junior high and is now a middle school. These public high schools were not always open to the public, unfortunately. Until 1964 in Louisiana, Native Americans were restricted from attending public schools, so Lafourche Parish set up a settlement school in Golden Meadow, just south of the corporation limit. At that location resided a large community of Houmas people, numbering about 175 by 1911 and 300 by 1940, which was about a quarter of the total Houma population at that time. Now, some families of the Houma Nation migrated east from Terrebonne Parish to Bayou Lafourche after the storm of 1915. Others remained in multiple smaller villages interspersed into the marshes. One in particular was named Fala, and it was located on the northwestern shore of Catfish Lake in the marshes directly west of Golden Meadow. To get to the school, children first boarded a boat and they would take it across the lake to the back of town and then walk several miles to the schoolhouse. A small group of Houmas lived in palmetto huts south of Yankee Canal on the east bank of the bayou near the Texaco oil storage tanks where we are right now. Private barges ferried citizens between bayou banks in the early days of Golden Meadow, and the most heavily used was between the high school and part of town known as the Pointe Saucisse, or simply the Pointe. This is the spot chosen for a pontoon bridge, and then in the 1970s, a steel lift bridge was in use, and it is used today. The Golden Meadow and Sault Lafourche region have preserved the Cajun and Creole culture through so many disasters one loses count. Now be sure to stop in Golden Meadow on your next trip down South Louisiana, but do not go over 50 miles an hour, just listen to me, I promise. For more history, horror, folklore, and culture, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on TikTok. I'm Kyle Crosby, and this is Louisiana Dread.